Good to go?
Yep.
Everybody all set? All right. Welcome one, welcome all to The Pit Straight, a podcast from Front Stretch. I'm Alex Gins, for those of you who are new around here, the IndyCar content director at Front Stretch. And I am joined, I'm so excited, by Wyatt Watson, Tom Blackburn, and for the first time in the show's history, a current NTT IndyCar Series driver of the number 18 Dale Coyne Racing Honda, Mr. Rinus VeeKay. Rinus, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks for having me.
You've had, I imagine, a pretty busy week so far, and it's only Tuesday after you're showing at Toronto this weekend. How are you doing with all this?
Yeah, I'm doing really good. It's been 60 races since I've had a podium, so yeah, it's been pretty good to get one again, and it's been already a great season with Dale Coyne Racing, and to match my top 10 record, get a podium. That's pretty awesome right now.
What has been the reaction within the team and also back home in the Netherlands to this result that you got at Toronto?
Oh, it's just a lot of hype again. It's everybody's really excited. It's I've been kind of successful all season in the shadows. We've always done kind of Dixon strategies and just kind of popped up in eighth or ninth all the time. Right now, we were in the spotlight almost all race, so that was just big. And the Dutch people, they show up when there's success. So yeah, it's been really awesome.
You were the last driver at the start of the season to be signed off for the 2025 season. Now you're having, quite honestly, one of your best seasons in your career so far. With 4 races to go, how do you reflect on your expectations that were in 2025 and now cracking the top 10 or almost cracking the top 10 in points after this podium?
Yeah, I mean, I remember I said before the first race of the season, top 16 was the goal. I think that was very reasonable at that time. Yeah, right now the goal is top 10 in the championship, of course. I didn't know we were going to get this many top 10s and a podium and all that, but no, I think it's been exceeding expectations every time we show up.
Yeah, I mean, what's been working so well at DCR that's enabled you to put up these results so far this season?
I think just the teamwork, the actual time everybody spends. We don't have a really big team, but everybody we have does a lot of work, and yeah, I think especially the strategy, the way we can get the car to a race has been really good. Of course, Michael Cannon joining the team has been big for us, but yeah, strategy has been the biggest thing, because you can have the quickest car, but if you mess up strategy, that doesn't work. And even in bad weekends, Mid Ohio we qualified in the back. We struggled all weekend, but we finished ninth by maximizing strategy and being responsive to everything that's happening on track. So I think everybody in our group really understands what we're doing, and we have a plan, we follow the plan, and we succeed. That's how we go into every race.
I got a question real fast for you, Rinus. So, like this past weekend, strategy, that was a huge factor in how you were able to cycle up to the front. At lap 42, you cycle up, you have the lead because of a yellow, you restart, you're up front. At that point, with the way the race is going, are you aware of what needs to happen for the strategy to work in your favor? Is like Dale telling you like, hey, we just need to do this or this? Or are you completely focused on hitting your marks and just letting the racing god say, hey, this race will play out and I'll get a good result or I won't get a good result? How does that work for a driver when strategy has to play out in your favor for that good result?
So to me, I knew what we were doing. So we had to hit a fuel number. Before I cycled to the front, I came out of the pit. I think I did 25 laps of just big fuel save behind the pack. And then I could kind of hammer down once I cycled to the front. And we did 45 laps on a set of tires. So That was basically the goal. I didn't really know what others needed to do because everybody has a different strategy. I didn't even know what Pato did until I watched the race back. But for us, we needed to make the greens last and then just save fuel over the 2 stints. And even without those few yellows at the end, I think we would have made it. So it has been really good, yes. But, we got some luck, but I think we could have also done it without a few of those yellows.
Yeah, I mean, those yellows and being on the green tire, I mean, on the broadcast, he came over the radio, just was pleading to come into pit road there with how much, this weekend seemed like one of the worst weekends to be on the green tires from a racing perspective on these street courses. So how difficult really was it just to hold on in those moments and trust that you were going to be able to make it through before that caution came out?
Yeah, it was hard. Big thing for me is we needed to stretch the tires to lap 15. From lap 15 on, we could make it to the end. After lap 10, I was already struggling really hard. Lap 13, I told the guys, like, hey, like, this is just not worth it anymore. We need to pit right now. It got really hard. I felt like I had no more rear tires, honestly. Like I was just driving on bare rims. So there at the end, like, it's a street course. There's going to be a few yellows. We'll just pit a bit earlier. And the timing of that was perfect because the yellow came out right when I exited pit lane. So that was pretty good.
What has the dynamic been with Jacob Abel as teammates? As both of you settled on this team while being in different points in y'all's career?
Yeah, it's definitely, he's experiencing a few lows. I've been experiencing a few highs. But, he's come off his, almost first top 10 with 11th in Iowa. It's really hard to come into the series as a rookie right now. There's been a few struggles, but he's learning, he's doing well. And, I think for him, it gives him a lot of confidence to see what I can do with the car. And what I can teach him, looking at strategy, race build up, and everything.
When we look back at the history of Dale Coyne Racing, especially before the driver limit per season came into effect this year, several drivers were cycled through Dale Coyne Racing last year, and I don't think it would be unfair to say that you may be the most established driver for the team since Sebastian Bourdais. Being at the ripe old age in your mid-20s and being the senior driver at a team like Dale Coyne Racing with a teammate like Jacob coming in as a rookie, does that impact how you handle yourself either race to race or over the course of a season, knowing that you have this sort of leader mentor role to fill?
Well, it does impact me because, Jacob is in his rookie season. I need to make sure whatever happens, he builds up. I need to make sure I'm on it, so we see what the car is like early in the weekend, and we really have that baseline. Whatever's going on with him, I need to make sure I'm on it, so I can kind of guide the team towards where we need to go. So there is a little bit of pressure on that, but it's actually really fun, and it's been like that for the last few seasons. I think with Christian Rasmussen, I've been kind of brought up to that lead position within the team. So it's been really fun, and I think it suits what I do.
How much was that leadership tested? Going back all the way to Indy 500 qualifying when it was between you and Jacob to make the show there.
Yeah, that's been tested. We are teammates. First of all, you gotta be friends if you want to be good teammates, and so we are. But it's just, especially at the 500, with my qualifying record there and my record around the speedway, this was just, we were doing everything we could to find some speed in the car, and that also meant kind of sacrificing me almost crashing a few times just to see if we could find something there and do big sweeps on the car. So we've done a lot of things there, and I kind of set myself up as the guinea pig for the month, trying to find things and taking some risks with the experience I have.
Has there been a noticeable impact, Michael Cannon being on the team? Are you guys finding more speed, or is this just more of a person who has so much experience that they just provide it right away? He's been obviously with Dale Coyne before, so there's a knowledge base of familiarity there. Are you personally finding getting off the trailer and hitting the track in a better position with more data, more knowledge, more, hey, let's try this or that? Or is it just subtle how you guys are just slowly improving as the season's gone on?
Well, we've been good before Michael Cannon showed up. But I think we've been a bit more inconsistent before that. I think Michael Cannon really brought us consistency, knowing kind of every track has this threshold of setup where you want to be within, like a spring rate. We cannot be stiffer than this or softer than this. So he kind of knows the laws and physics of the way of this car. And I think we've been rolling off the truck more competitive and more complete. I just really think, we finally start to understand what we need to do coming to a track, because we were quick in Detroit and we took a lot of stuff we did in Detroit to Toronto. And now every track we're going to show up in on the final few races, we have a proven good setup to rely on, which, we have had to build over the season. So it's been a bit of a process. We've had some hard times, but coming all the way to the final part of the season, I think we're going to have, as much success as we've been having, or even more.
Is there a track out of the last four that you feel super confident about heading to? Last year you had a top 10 at one of the Milwaukee races. You've finished in the top 10 at Portland. New team, obviously, but are there any of those racetracks you feel really super excited about hitting?
Actually, Laguna Seca. That's a track that's really close to Barber, the way the corners flow, and that has been a really strong weekend for us. So I think we can show up with something that's proven to be quick again in Laguna Seca. And then coming to Portland, that's a place that's very close to any road course, with how flat it is, how, again, like the loads are the same Gs and everything. So we can recycle that setup a little bit and just kind of rely on our experience that we gained this season. Then we tested in Milwaukee. We were fastest. So, coming up to all those places. And I think, Nashville's kind of a wild card for everybody. So, I think we're going to be really good for the final races. And, I mean, the way the season's gone, I'm not going to be surprised if we get 4 top 10s coming to finish off the season.
Going back to Michael Cannon as the guy in the box for you now, looking forward in 2026, obviously his Indy 500 record speaks for himself. How much confidence does that give y'all going into next year's race for the Indianapolis 500?
Well, it gives us a lot of confidence. He's got really good setups. He's helped teams excel around the speedway. I think just an off season with him on the car, dedicated, doing dedicated work and getting a checklist, not only set up, but, set procedures a little bit differently for the 500. I think that is going to really impact the team in a good way, because right now, he's been showing up to the track every time, but it's he came into the season in the busiest part. So it's hard to do any development on that side.
Your father has been notably involved in your career your whole life. I talked to him over the weekend a couple times and just said, hey, this race and you're on street courses, it feels like it's going to be a good day for you at the track. In the good and the bad, and also with the transition from ECR to DCR rather, how has he helped you with going through both that transition and the good and bad days on the track?
I mean, he's always there for me. We've gotten to the top all the way from go-karts. We've made sacrifices as family all the way towards IndyCar. And I mean, if anybody was got hurt when I got dropped. It was really my dad too, and coming to through this whole season, he's been so happy. He's been very happy the way the team works. It's just a really fun team and a really dedicated team. So I feel like he's very much at ease coming to the racetrack now. He comes as a spectator. He doesn't come there thinking, like, oh, I hope the team's not going to mess up this weekend, because he knows that the crew I have, he's not going to, he can just watch me and he knows we're going to make the right choices.
What did he say to you after once you got to him after getting second there?
Just so proud. He was just very, very proud, very happy, and very proud of the team. That's he didn't know what was happening because he was sitting in the grandstands. He always does that. He sits in the grandstands within the fans and just watches the race, with a good view. So that he wasn't really sure what we were doing on strategy. Of course, they cycled to 25th after the first pit stop, but it kind of told him the plan before. So he was just very, very happy, proud, and I'm sure he was relieved.
We love the media. We love to see the family and the husbands and wives and the parents and the children and the siblings at the track. We love to see that emotional human aspect of the sport. And your parents are a very real talking point for a lot of us, just how cool it is to see them with you there all the time. Rinus, we know you're busy, so we don't want to keep you for too much longer, but I have one question for you to close things out.
Okay.
Can you tell us about the helmets on the wall behind you?
Yes. So this one right here is my backup helmet from last year. So, my shared primary. That one, my well-known Indy 500 helmet. This is my Nashville helmet, I should say. And then this
I got one similar in my closet.
Yeah. And my 500 helmet from this year is on the wall right there. So I'm one helmet short. That's why I put this up there. But, should have one after this season.
When we get to Nashville, can we get a picture of you and Wyatt with your Nashville helmets?
Yes.
They look really similar.
Yes.
Absolutely. Oh my gosh. It's lore over here in the front stretch.
It's lore.
About my helmet, about my cowboy hat out here. So
hey, Rinus, thank you so much for coming on to the show. We're really excited to have you on, and we appreciate you sharing all of that insight. And your has the world seen your Nashville helmet yet, or is this the first time?
Oh yes, they've seen it. I had handlebars before in Nashville with my helmet on. So yeah,
that's
right. It's something I like to do, either Texas, Nashville. Actually, I got this. It's a Stetson. It's a real Stetson.
Oh wow.
Oh wow.
They didn't know the price until I already put my card in the chip reader. So
they're expensive. Yeah, I have one from the military. They're expensive.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
But it's a good investment. I love it.
Good deal. Well, we know you're busy. We will let you go. Thank you so much for coming on and for sharing your insight on this season. Best of luck to you moving forward for those last 4 races, and maybe you'll get those 4 top 10s.
Oh yes. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
All right.
That's it, huh?
Oh yeah,
we're still on live here. So
yeah, we're still up, but you're free to stay or go as you please.
All right.
Take care, man.
I'll check out. Thanks, guys. See you.
Take care, Rinus.
See you.
Now it's real Stetson.
Rinus.
Those are expensive. Those are like, gosh, mine was $250 something when I bought it.
Wow, $250. That's insane.
Yeah, it was tax deductible as my uniform, so that was a benefit. My dog is barking, thank God.
Yeah, I was about to say right at the end, but
yeah. Sorry for the streamers.
The one more, a couple of things I want to talk about before we still got a little time on the show is right behind him was Kevin Simpson in third, and I think I even talked to him at the track before they started going. He got the top 5, obviously, at Detroit, and I was like, well, I mean, if he ends up having a great strategy again, I mean, that could be even more. Getting his first podium, Alex, I'll ask you, how much how much would it really mean to him and for his career? Because I mean, I've talked with a lot of people at the CGR camp that they're really pleased to see the improvement that Kiffin has shown this season.
Yeah, Kiffin came into the 2024 season with plenty of doubters. I was among them. It's no secret that there is a lot of money coming into CGR from his family. And when CGR downsized from 2025, they went from 5 full-time cars, I believe, last year with Armstrong and Lundqvist,
yeah,
to 3 this year. There were plenty of people who said that of Kiffin, Simpson, Linus Lundqvist, and Marcus Armstrong, Kiffin Simpson might not even be in the top 3 among those drivers to get that Ganassi seat. There might be some 4th mystery driver out on the market. I think anybody who had anything negative to say about Kiffin kind of has to eat their hat at this point. He's clearly not at the race winning level yet, as far as I can tell, but he has proven so far this year that he can at least hold the car together and be there to capitalize when opportunities come his way. And that's the best first step you can ask for.
Yeah, he's got 2 top 5s and then 3 other top 10s. And some of those are pit strategy. Others, he has raced his way in there due to attrition or whatever. But like you said, Alex, he's held his own when he's in those positions. He raced and stayed up in 3rd when there were guys who were chasing him down. So very good for him.
Just for context, I mean, he didn't even top 10 last year in his rookie season, and he has exploded with all these great results. I mean, mainly on the street courses is where he's really put up these solid numbers at, which, I mean, we're not going to go to any more for the season, unfortunately for that team. But I think, again, people I've talked to in the CGR camp over the last couple races, it's just, they've seen the improvement that Kiffin has shown over the last couple of years. He's 20 years old, guys. He is a young driver that's still learning, and he has 2 of the best in the business that to learn from in Scott Dixon and Alex Below. And I think, I mean, of course, their races fell apart because of bold strategy trying to go for the win, much like the bold strategy for our friend Rinus VeeKay and Kiffin Simpson worked out perfectly for that team. So when Kiffin gets these results, and he's been knocked on for his rookie performances before we got into the season, we had 0 expectations for that 3rd Ganassi team. He has shown that he's able to get those results with great strategy too, but also Mid-Ohio is a high point for him too, actually racing all day in the top 5 before just issues on pit road got him there. So that whole team deserves their flowers for the season that they put together as well. And I'm thoroughly impressed with how they've operated this season. What I'm not so impressed with, and more surprised that they keep falling down the order, is Team Penske though. And I talked about it in our post-race conversation. Alex, this has just been a nightmare for them.
I have nothing interesting to add to that. Scott McLaughlin made a good point in one of his, it hurts me to say it, somebody makes a good point in a tweet, but he said this can't stay this bad forever, but it's staying this bad much longer than it should have been able to. And, at this point, you're a racing driver. You show up every week and you do your damnedest to do the best you can. That's all you can do in the final analysis. But I would imagine, especially for somebody like Joseph Newgarden or Scott McLaughlin, Will Powers kind of saved himself from this a bit. At what point over these last 4 races do you just start focusing more and more and more on 2026? I don't know.
Them going to the racetrack and saying, hey, it's going to end this weekend. It's just that the stuff that happens to him, McLaughlin's, I don't know if the wheel nut came off or got broken or if it just came off. It was never clear, but that's just not something that happens all the time.
Right.
Newgarden was inches from clearing Abel or being able to get around him, and he would have been able to keep on going. I mean, it's just these minute things that are so freak of nature almost that are just taking these guys out of these races, and how morale crushing it is for these guys to get out of the car. You saw it on Joseph Newgarden's face when he's looking at his car going, what the heck do we have to do to change our luck around here? And that is the story, is they keep coming in, attacking the race, having good results, and then something freakish happens. Even Power,
Yeah,
he got ran off the road a little bit, or he made contact, and he ended up having to finish 11th instead of getting a surefire. He would have been up there with Pato, I think. So
yeah, no, he was. I mean, Pato was under investigation for making that move. I mean, he just took the line. He was inside, and it's any call there felt like it was going to be okay, but you could see it on Power's
time
face
though,
too.
guys. I'm sorry, but at the same time, the domination of Alex Palou, it just doesn't give these guys an opportunity to miss just this much, even on good days, to win.
Perfect isn't enough.
Joseph Newgarden is the greatest example at Iowa. Dominant car, maybe in a few past years he would have won race 2, but because of just how things cycle out or whatever, Palou is in the hunt and he ends up winning. You just can't miss when you're in it.
Yeah, you really can. And again, when I saw it in Power's face when we talked to him, and he's fighting for his job. Obviously, he wants to get that. He should have got the result. Honestly, I'll be quite honest. You should have been on that podium, probably with the Pato fighting till the end for that race win. Instead, an 11th is just deflating for those guys, because I mean, at this point, you just need. It's not about the points for them because they're so far back. It's just about getting Penske on the win board at this point is what they need for 2025.
Yeah, what can you do? Look, like Blackburn said, this is bordering on like miraculous type. Not miraculous in a good way, but statistically, it just doesn't make sense at all.
Not at all.
And Team Penske will come back. I mean, that's a given. Nobody doubts that this is, going to result in the dissolution of the team or anything like that. But this is so far from Penske perfect.
Yes.
Not even close. So, yeah. So we'll end it here for the pit straight today. Again, thank you, Rinus VeeKay, for coming on to the show. That was awesome to have him on there for our very first guest. Thank y'all, gentlemen, for coming on. Be sure to follow us on our Front Stretch Open Wheel channel. Like, subscribe this video, and follow us on Spotify and Apple as well for the podcast. Also, this live recording will come out here in a little bit there. Also, check out our Twitter, Front Stretch Open Wheel, our main Twitter, Front Stretch, for stock car racing content there, and our Blue Sky for Formula One coverage as we finally get back on the road for there and the Belgian Grand Prix this weekend. And check out Brian Nolan and Danny Peters will be at Laguna Seca to cover everything going on in IndyCar there as well. Follow our respective Twitter handles, Alex Gintz 1, Tom Blackburn 42, Wyatt W Racing on Twitter as well. And again, thanks for joining us for this live recording of the episode, and we'll see you for the next one. Take care, folks.